Special Issue Task Force. How can I help you? Back joining us for the latest in Special Issue Task Force is Hayoung. Hayoung, hello to you.
Hello and happy Road Day. Are we
Farmer
allowed
Day.
to
It's Farmer's Day.
It's PPR Day. Papero Day.
It's also UN Remembrance.
This is for you.
Who gave you this? Who
I
gave
bought
you this?
it for
Did you buy it with your own money?
Yeah, I did.
For me?
For you. Just for you.
I'm gonna give this to my wife. I'm like, I didn't forget. I didn't
Here's
forget.
the original one.
This is the original one. I didn't forget.
You know that there are like tons of different types of pepero these days, right?
I do.
What's your favorite one?
I don't really
Original
like it. But if I were to choose one, I like the almond one. The green box. The green box.
Ah. I gave it to 피디님.
It's okay. He needs it. He went tracking. He finished the Jeju course, the Ole Trail course.
I heard.
That's insane. And you know what he said afterwards? Because I was like,
What?
congratulations, and he's done now.
He wanted to go back?
He's gonna do it again.
Again?
He's gonna circle the Ole Trail again.
He's in his early 30s, so he can definitely do it again.
Early 30s.
Early
What are you,
30s.
like leap year? 30 years in leap year, probably. Oh my god, I have to give it to him.
Am I right?
That's
You're
tough.
in your early 30s, right?
1930s.
1930s.
Anyways, Hayoung, good to see you back once again.
Thank you for having me again.
SJ, you're bad, never buy anything. Are you kidding me? Never buy anything. Do you know how much money I spent?
That's right, yeah.
I spent so much money on myself.
But he donates wine.
I do.
Yeah.
I do donate a lot of wine.
That's a big part.
to people of Arirang.
So you don't have to buy me pepero. Just donate another bottle of wine.
I have too much wines. I'll tell you that. Our first topic is a very serious one. Tragic tragedy. This actually it scared me. How disastrous it is. This is the collapse at the power plant over in Ulsan. It's now the sixth day since the accident, and they're still trying to recover.
Yes.
Some of the victims there. Seong, start us off by giving us an overview. What exactly happened over there?
Yeah, sure. On Thursday afternoon, November 6th, in the city of Ulsan in South Korea, a 60-meter boiler tower at the decommissioned thermal plant of Korea East-West Power Company, a state-run utility, collapsed. And the plant had been shut down in 2021 after around 40 years of operation. And at the time of collapse, 9 workers were on site conducting dismantling operations. And according to the news that came in on this past Sunday, a third body was recovered, bringing the confirmed death toll to 3. Meanwhile, 2 are presumed dead and 2 more are missing, and they seem to be still trapped under rubble. So it's a very tragic event, and the rescue operation is still ongoing.
Again, I mean, unless it's a miracle. I mean, again, we're using the word presumed dead right now because it's the 6th day right now. Considering the situation,
Right.
the gravity of the collapse, very, very tragic, very devastating. But can you explain to us why this accident occurred? Like, what are some of the contributing factors?
Well, there are several factors at play. First, the facility was old. After decades of service, it was no longer in operation and was in the process of being demolished.
Yeah.
And second, the demolition process itself appears to have been risky. And according to reports, workers had begun structural weakening of the tower, which involved cutting key steel supports before the main collapse. And in addition, authorities are investigating what they describe as a regulatory blind spot. The collapsed structure was classified as a structure rather than a building under relevant safety legislation, which may have meant fewer oversight requirements. And there's also concern over subcontracting practices, that high-risk tasks were being handled by secondary contractors, raising questions about safety oversight again.
Oh my goodness. So because it's considered a structure and not
Yes.
a building, you don't have to follow certain regulatory steps.
That's right.
Still, I mean, if you look at how old the structure is, and how dangerous decommissioning of a power plant
Right.
is, it should be even more strict with the
That's
regulations
right,
and
that's
stuff,
right.
but it's the other way around, and then you're handled by secondary contract. Again, I mean, do we have to go through another major tragedy in order to undo some of these policies and regulations and put in new laws in place? you have a combination of aging infrastructure, risky process, regulatory oversight. Let's talk about the rescue operation, which now, again, I mean, is it a rescue operation or is it a recovery operation right now? What's their status? What are the challenges being faced?
Well, actually, the rescue teams are facing extremely difficult conditions. More than 340 personnel, along with specialized equipment, thermal imaging cameras, search dogs, remote scopes, have been deployed at the site. Now, the collapsed area is unstable. The surrounding structures are compromised, and there are large amounts of fibrous minerals and glass fiber debris, which pose additional risk. And at times, the search had to be temporarily halted because of the risk of further collapse. So the question of how long the operation will take remains open because of these safety issues.
You have to understand that the power plant, it collapsed on its own, right? I mean, obviously, there was something that went wrong and it collapsed. It wasn't something that was done purposely.
Right.
So you don't know how unstable the structure is right now. It's very dangerous.
Yes.
It kind of reminds me, again, I mean, it's different gravity. 9/11, the Twin Tower.
Yes.
Very different in many ways, but still, a lot of people who went in there ultimately collapsed once again, right? And so you had further death because of that. The debris was something that affected many of the rescuers in the long term.
Right.
And so that's the other thing that you have to take into consideration. So given such complexity, what have been the official responses from the government and also the related authorities?
Well, the response has involved high-level directives. Of course, President Lee Jae-myung called for the full mobilization of all available personnel and equipment for the rescue, emphasizing that worker safety come first. And the Ministry of Employment and Labor and the Korea Occupational Safety and Health Agency also announced a strengthened inspection and monitoring of high-risk demolition activities. Meanwhile, labor unions and civil society are highlighting the broader issues of risk outsourcing in industries, that is, dangerous work being passed down to less protected workers, and calling for systematic reform. And authorities have launched investigations into whether demolition permits, the safety plans, and oversight practices were properly followed.
Again, that's the big question, right? That's the big question, which now leads us to our final point. What lessons... Unfortunately, we only learn lessons when tragedies happen.
That's right.
What lessons can we draw from this tragedy?
Well, I'd like to highlight 4 key takeaways.
Okay.
First, the dismantling of retirement age infrastructure is not a routine process.
No.
It carries inherent risk, especially when structural weakening is involved. Planning, hazard identification, and safety controls cannot be weaker just because the facility is no longer in use.
Yeah, I mean, if anything, they should be more cautious. They should be more strict with the regulations. I don't understand the logic of this. There's always a regulation or oversight when these tragedies happen. So it's not just the age of the structure, but it's how it was handled during the dismantling that matters the most.
Exactly. And second, I also want to talk about the regulatory classification that really matters. If a structure slips through the legal net because it's deemed a structure rather than a building, like we said, oversight may be insufficient. And this regulatory blind spot is something our listeners should also note, because similar issues do exist in many different countries as well. And third, about the people doing the work, high-risk jobs were likely assigned to lower-tier contractors, highlighting the importance of worker protection. And this is not just a technical issue, but a social and economic one as well. And finally, transparency and accountability are crucial. Investigations must identify root causes, not just assign blame. So now the hope is that the results will lead to stronger standards and safer practices. And of course, we hope for the rescue of those who have not yet been found, and for the safety of the rescue teams, of course, continuing the search efforts. And we also send our condolences to the families of those who have been confirmed deceased.
Yeah, I mean, this is... you have to look at the big picture right now. Again, it's really a shame right now. It's very tragic to see those workers. Again, the secondary contractors were put in a high-risk situation instead of those with more technical skills doing all of this. And now, of course, leading to the deceased. But now the rescue team... it's very crucial that they're protected
doing their
too.
best.
Yes, they are doing their best, but it's one of those things where you can't rush it.
Because of
can't
the
rush it.
secondary collapse
Exactly.
risk.
Exactly.
Right?
We don't know what it looks like after a collapse. And so hopefully we don't see another secondary accident, tragedy happening from all this. And again, unfortunately, we have to learn after a tragedy occurs. Oh, geez. We're going to take a short song break, go into other major issues of the past 7 days. This is Hang Dong-gun with making a new ending for this story. 이 소설의 끝을 다시 써보려 해. Let's go into our next topic here. A establishment that I just never really understood.
Because of its name,
Yeah, just because of the name.
the name of the city.
It's a very high-profile brand, very high-profile establishment. I go to the Suwon Starfield quite a bit with my family. You know, it's close by, and this is located there, and there's always a line there.
Right, long line.
And I just never understood. We're talking about the London Bagel Museum, and it's not a museum.
It's a bakery,
It's a bakery
cafe.
where they sell bagels.
Right,
But, you know, for me, bagel is New York.
New York.
But it's called London Bagel.
Bagel
But, you know, to be fair, though, there is a very famous bagel shop in London. Very famous. But I think they call it something else. I think they call it salt bread or something like that. Anyways.
I see.
But for our listeners out there that's not familiar with London Bagel Museum, and we do have a lot of our London listeners out there, how did it become such a big name in Korea?
Well, first, when I hear the word London, the first thing that comes to my mind isn't a bagel.
No.
It's rather like London Bridge or something, like Fergie's song. But now, for many people in Korea, hearing London probably makes them think of bagels thanks to this certain brand. And unfortunately, I don't think we can think of that bakery in a positive light anymore.
No.
So London Bagel Museum launched its first store in 2021 in the Anguk-dong neighborhood of Seoul. It quickly became a sensation. People queued for long periods just to buy the bagels. The brand had a strong image of trendy, high-end cafe culture, and it appealed especially to younger consumers, including social media savvy customers who want something Instagrammable. And honestly, their bagels are pretty tasty, so no wonder people loved this brand. And the brand also projected a powerful identity, a slogan like, "We are all born different, so why do we all try to be the same?" Helped position the brand as one that celebrated individuality and youth culture, and that made it very attractive. And in terms of business scale, by 2023, the company reportedly had operating profits in just 2 years since it opened and was preparing for even wider expansion.
We're all born different, so why do we all try to be the same? Why is everyone trying to go to the same cafe for bakery for bagel? It makes sense. It makes
The
no sense.
same bagel bakery, they can try different bagels, right?
Yeah, but everyone's going to the one place, lining up. It was. I remember when it first opened up, the line was ridiculous.
Yes,
It was
that's
crazy,
right.
and so they
In Anguk-dong.
franchised it. They have it not everywhere, but a lot of different places.
신사, 잠실,
Yup, and again, Suwon, again, Starfield has
and
it.
even Incheon.
So what happened? What changed? Like, how did this brand go being a must-go bakery / cafe brand to being a center of a serious controversy?
Well, the turning point came this year when a tragic event exposed the deeper problems. Recently, we came across some very shocking news. It had actually happened a few months ago. In July, a 26-year-old employee, a man, at the Incheon branch of London Bagel Museum was found dead in the company dormitory. And the family claimed that the young man had been working roughly 80 hours a week, often skipping meals and sleep as he helped open a new store. And following that, the Ministry of Employment and Labor launched a formal investigation into whether the company violated labor law, whether they had required work beyond legal limits, whether they provided proper safety measures, payroll records, work hour records are under review. In addition, former employees began to speak out about a workplace culture they describe as toxic. Extreme pressure, constant monitoring, remarks from executives that felt even humiliating. So the brand's image of youthful freedom is now being contrasted with a very different internal reality.
Why do you come out after someone unfortunately dies? It's something that needs to be cut from the very start, from the very beginning, so that we could avoid tragedies like this. But it's a dramatic shift. Now you go from, again, in a place that you must go to.
Right.
Now, obviously, everyone's going to be boycotting it. I feel like it's going to be much more than just a boycott, according to what's happening. So let's unpack the main issue here, okay? What are the key areas of concern that this incident has brought to focus?
There are at least 3 major areas of concern. First is overwork and labor law compliance. The claim of working 80 hours a week is well beyond the standard legal limits, which are 52 hours per week. The investigation is looking at whether this qualifies as an industrial accident. And workplace culture and management practices are another problem. Former staff report that the company emphasized long hours, direct pressure, monitoring, and an image-driven work environment rather than basic worker protection. So together, these raises questions about how popular lifestyle brands operate behind the scenes, especially when rapid growth and expansion become priorities.
It becomes 갑질, right? We have this thing called 갑질, power abuse, when all of a sudden you're given this immense power, this fame. You are now the owner of the most
popular shows.
Come out on TV shows, right? Everyone knows you. Everyone knows your faces. Everyone wants to follow you on Instagram. And all of a sudden you get this power, and you could either use that power for good, or you use it for evil. And unfortunately, this person used it for evil, including all the executives here. What's been the reaction like from the consumers? I mean, the very people that bought these bagels and also labor groups and the company itself, too.
Obviously not positive. A brand image versus reality gap is something that shocked the consumers, of course, especially young people. And the brand marketed itself as inclusive, young, celebratory of difference. Yet internally, the very people behind the scenes may have faced intense pressure and unfair treatment, and it now has created a strong backlash among consumers and the public. On the labor rights side, the case has become a focal point for discussions about service industry work, franchise culture, and the vulnerability of young workers, especially when the job market is tough or when the work is closely tied to one's dream. It's hard for young people to say no when a company asks them to accept so-called passion pay, 열정 pay in Korean, which refers to a practice where young workers are paid not enough, sometimes even little to nothing, under the justification that they are gaining valuable experience doing what they love. Now, for its part, the company has reached a settlement of sorts with the family in this personal tragedy. According to reports, the family accepted an apology and consolation payment. But that does not mean that London Bagel Museum is free from its legal responsibilities. No. The public investigation remains underway. The legal and social implications aren't simply private. And the company publicly said it would improve its working environment, but judging by the company's initial response and the way it treated employees who suffered work-related accidents and their families, it's hard to take their words at face value. And finally, the Labor Ministry's inspection of both the Incheon branch and headquarters signals that this is not just an isolated incident. Regulators may apply pressure across the industry.
Tells you a lot about the job situation right now, where the young people are forced to kind of work in this situation. Right. I mean, it used to be, have you ever done passion pay before? Have you? I have.
I think I have.
I have, when...
But I can't say which company it was.
I mean, like I've done passion pay in broadcasting, not here, but when they were asking me to do this, it was a favor, and they were so nice to me. They felt so bad that I had to do it through passion pay because there was just no budget, but I was just happy to do it because I was, early into in my broadcasting. But it's the other way. It's like you get passion pay and they treat you bad. But looking beyond just this one company, what broader implications or lessons should our listeners take away, especially considering young workers and the growing brands?
Yes. Let's talk about the risk of rapid brand expansion first. They expanded very quickly, like 7 different branches in just a few years. When a brand grows very quickly, sometimes attention to internal operations, especially worker welfare, can lag behind. And we also have to think about the vulnerability of young workers in trendy sectors. Young people often take high-pressure jobs in service or hospitality industries, believing in the mission or the brand, but may face hidden risks like long hours and weak protections. And regulatory oversight still matters, even for popular lifestyle brands like London Bagel Museum. Legal obligations around work hours, safety, and contracts remain mandatory. And the investigation here shows that regulatory risks do exist.
It's like this. Hey, where do you work? I work at London Bagel Museum. Oh my goodness, wow. And then you see all your friends going, oh my goodness, wow. Do you get to eat all those delicious bagels and stuff like that? Yeah, sure. On the outside, make it look like it's cool.
Yes.
Everything's fine.
Very trendy.
Very trendy. I work in a very trendy place, but in the inside, it's just rotten from the inside. Devastating stuff here. Oh, geez. I hope our last one is a good one. We're going to take a short song break here and then jump into the third topic. This is Kim Yuna with Days Without Tears, 눈물 아닌 날들. Last story to share, and I'm glad it's a happy one.
It's a happy one.
However, unfortunately, one of our listeners, Sukasa, is not here. I think he would have really liked this story.
He's a fan?
He's a big fan. He's a big fan, and he's a big fan especially of this team. And also,
where is he now?
School, I think.
School, okay.
It's very early. He might have gone to school. Sometimes he has, and it would have been nice because he's had some rough, few days here. We're talking about League of Legends. I haven't played it. I played the original. LOL. Lore. But it's big because T1, South Korea's T1, of course, led by Captain Faker, Lee Sang-hyuk. Third straight world championships. I believe it's 6 total. No team has ever won that many world championships, but 3 straight is, again, crazy too. Give us a look into this, what this accomplishment means.
Absolutely. On Sunday, November 9th, 2025, in Chengdu, China, T1 defeated rival KT Roaster in the finals of the League of Legends World Championship by a score of 3-2. And what makes this especially historic, T1 has now become the first team in the tournament's history to win 3 world titles in a row from 2023 to 2025. And that elevates them to 6 titles, like you said, overall, securing their place as a dominant force in global esports. So yes, that's not just a win, that's a milestone for the team, for Korea as an esports powerhouse, and for the industry as a whole.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know too much about this game, but Lee Sang-hyuk, obviously one of the most famous names. Yeah, Faker. Right, and if you listen to his, life story, it's actually pretty impressive too.
Yes.
But beyond the win itself, what deeper significance does this have for Korean esports and culture?
There are a few layers. First, Korea already has a very strong esports scene with global recognition, but victories like this help boost that further, and they validate Korea's leadership in competitive gaming. And second, the team T1 is more than just players; it's a brand now, a spectacle and a rallying point for fans all over the world. And the fact that the finals featured 2 Korean teams, T1 versus KT Roaster, adds to national pride and international visibility as well. And third, from a cultural standpoint, esports fandom has become mainstream now. Streaming, merchandising, influencers, gaming cafes, or PC방 in Korean all tie into this. So we can say T1's win is expected to drive even more attention, sponsorship, and investment into the ecosystem. And finally, for young people especially, this reinforces that gaming is not just a hobby, but a serious professional field. So mommies and daddies should know this. And that has implications for career path, education, and how society views digital talent.
No, there's now majors.
Right.
There's schools that, generate professional gamers now.
So if Aroni happens to spend like 10 to 11 hours a day playing League of Legends, are you going to just let him continue to play?
But if he's good, but if he's bad like Daddy, then no. Like he plays games. He plays Minecraft.
Wow, already?
Yeah.
And he's good?
No, he's good. Like he's building 거북선 and stuff. He's like, 아빠 거북선이에요.
I think he's good at everything, pretty much everything.
No, I mean
like from English.
No, his
math.
English is so-so. He told me what's that hot tail? What's a hot tail?
Hotel?
Hotel.
Oh.
Hotel. No, but this is big. This is big, right? I mean, I remember when I played a different game called Dota, which is the original version of League of Legends. They saw that I was Korean, and then everyone tried to team up with me.
Wow.
Jokes on them.
Because they thought Koreans are good.
Yeah, jokes on them. I'm Korean American. Bad.
So I'm half good.
I'm only half good. I'm only half good. Let's bring it to another dimension, the tech and industrial side. Recently, NVIDIA made a major deal with Korea, announcing that it will supply more than 260,000 GPUs.
That's right.
To support Korean AI and semiconductor initiatives. Hey, how does this all tie into esports and the World Championship victory, though?
That's a very interesting crossover. On October 31st, 2025, NVIDIA announced that it would provide over 260,000 of its latest GPUs to South Korea's government and some major companies like Samsung Electronics, SK Group, and Hyundai Motor Group to help build AI infrastructure. And this announcement was made during the APEC summit, a meeting between President Lee Jae-myung and Jensen Huang after his Chimeng night with his gambus, and underscored Korea's ambition to become an AI and digital content hub. And here's how it connects to esports. Competitive gaming pushes demand for advanced hardware, like GPUs, fast graphics, rendering, low latency. And as Korea strengthens its tech stack, the infrastructure for gaming, streaming, content creation, and professional esports strengthens too. And in that sense, T1's world-level performance and Korea's tech push reinforce each other. One drives talent and visibility, and the other supplies the tools and ecosystem.
You know what's funny about the T1 name? I don't know what the T1 stands for in T1. But back during the PC방 days, the early days of PC방, do you remember what your first internet was when you had internet for the first time? Are you old enough to have the ding, 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 ding?
I don't think so.
No?
No.
So you had cable...
Just the cable one.
Modem, right?
Yes.
Where you could still use the phone. So, I mean, I had that later on, right? I had the 33K, 56K modem, where you can't make phone calls. And then we went to PC방. And then one of the PCbangs in New York City, they touted the fastest modem, and it was called T1.
Oh.
It was T1.
So the name T1 came from that.
I don't know. That's what I'm guessing, but I don't think that's what it is. But back then, T1 was the fastest internet modem that we had. This was when I was in high school.
Makes sense.
But they had like T2, and then they're like T3 and all this stuff. So I mean, this is obviously big news here, and we're driving up Korea we're having a hard time winning baseball games, so might as well win esports games. But it's really driving up Korea's image in a number of different ways.
That's right. Korea's esports scene proves that real success comes from more than just star players. It's about talent, technology, and strong infrastructure. And T1's global rise shows how gaming can boost national brands, like you said, and even shape Korea's digital and economic future.
If Raoni says, I want to be a professional gamer, are you going to say...
If it's good. If it's like, he has to be like super good, like Faker.
That's the thing.
If he doesn't meet that level, no. Gaming.
We have a producer up in the 9th floor. We became close because his son's name is Seungjae. He's Chae Seungjae, right? He got scouted by KT.
Really?
To be a professional.
How old is it?
This was like 5 years ago when he was in high school.
Wow.
He got scouted and he said no.
Why?
I don't know.
But daddy said no?
No, dad said, yeah, go for it. And he's like, no, I want to do something else.
The younger Seungjae, young Seungjae said no?
How do you want to do it? That's crazy, right?
Wow.
I'm telling you. Anyways.
Maybe he has another dream, bigger one.
He did.
Yes.
Seong, thank you very much for this, and I'm glad we ended on a high note here with all these negative news. Have a fantastic rest of your week. Stay safe, and we'll see you again.
I'll see you next week.
All right, sending around the studio. Bahar said, wow, I didn't know there were goats. It's funny you say this, because this time we're going to listen to a song from Treasure featuring Lee Young-hyun with Goat Rap Unit.